Hey guys, welcome back to the Grind Podcast and 2022. I am your host, Chris Clothier, back together again for more business podcasts, real estate podcasts heading into the new year. You will notice a slightly different view. You will notice especially if you're watching us on YouTube or if you're watching the video cast, I've got a new desk. I've got a new chair. I've got a new attitude towards this year. I'm ready to rock and roll. Trying to take control of my worst instincts to change things up. I will not be trying to change this desk on my own. I will not be rebuilding it. This is the desk we're going with. No more little desk. If this is your first podcast episode, you're probably wondering what the heck I'm talking about. Go back and listen to the podcast that we started this past year when we launched the Grind podcast. You'll understand what I'm talking about. You'll understand the many quirks that that have affected me as the years gone by. Look, as we kick into 2022, the purpose of this year's podcast and this, kind of kick off right off the bat, I'm recording this actually on a day when we just had an all hands meeting with our entire company. All hands meaning that everybody in the company got together, stop what you're doing. We're not working in the business right now. We're going to work on the business for a little bit. We're going to take an hour and a half as leadership and speak to the needs of the team, speak to kind of the results we had last year, the direction we're moving this coming year, update everyone on our 5 to 10 year plan, and just kind of recast the vision. And I thought, what a great podcast to start with for you guys to hear now, I want you to hear our results of REI Nation because it's important. This is a very, very important for the backstory of the grind to begin with, but also to kind of understand this is how we view things. Why are these things important to us? Why is it important to share this with our team? Why is it important to focus on this going into the future? Maybe it can help you out with your business as well. So let's kick right in. Again, like I said, I'm Chris Clothier. Those of you that may not know, I'm one of the owners of the family run and operated business called REI Nation, the largest, probably the most respected turnkey company in the industry. Those aren't my words. That's really from other companies that are similar to us and kind of our clients and those that have reviewed to do business with us, maybe chosen to go elsewhere. We've worked very, very hard to earn that reputation as a very respectable, reliable, consistent company out there. We always look to help other companies. So if you happen to be a turnkey company listening right now, man, thanks a lot. Hopefully something that I share today can help you find success with your company. In the meantime, let's go ahead and get to it. So we started the meeting off today. We were very specific and intentional with how we did this, just so you're aware. And you should be too. If you're going to have an all hands meeting, you've got to be intentional. There has to be a reason for it and an expected outcome. For us, the expected outcome was a motivated team that clearly could see the performance and how we had done in the past, so they could connect what our past expectations were with the performance that we actually achieved, and then cast a vision for the team to see this is where we want to go. In the middle of it, we put in a few little caveats to help them kind of understand, the some of the little nuances and pieces that were going to assist us in getting there, and then finally, at the very end, we ended the meeting with Kent Sr. He's the CEO, the original founder of the company. He turned 71 here in just a few days, in fact. And so his job was to get up there and really kind of let everybody know that at 71 years of age, he still gets up full of vigor, full of ready to rock and roll, full of I got to get to the office. I want to kick ass. I want to be number one. I never want to settle. And so that the team could see that we still have energy, that we're still driven, and that even though we've reached a level of excellence, we still haven't reached perfection. And the road to perfection is through excellence. That's how you get there. And whether or not we ever achieve perfection, that's okay. As long as we are achieving excellence and we're growing and being the best version of ourselves individually and as a company in 2022. So that was the purpose of today's meeting. That was what we drove everything towards. Let me kind of share with you some of the data and the stats from the past, tell you what our expectations are for the future and kind of how we plan to achieve that with our team. And I'll tell you some of for lack of a better way to put it, it may be slogans, and some people may say this is just all, just words and platitudes, but for us, it's not. It is truly a way to be able to express to our team what our motivation is, why we get up every day, and we want them to have the same, drive. So you really have to explain to them why, a few words, a phrase or something may really matter. Why it's something that really, if they can look at that, it goes back to that anchor that we planted today of this is why, you matter, what you do matters, your approach matters. So anyway, company stats, guys, we ended 2021 with 130 full-time team members, and we actually have 18 positions open that we're trying to hire around the country as we speak. It's really, really important. It was one of the big focuses today. Team, team, team. The most important asset we have as a company is our team. While our clients, absolutely they're important. And the residents in our homes, absolutely they're important. And all the vendors we do business with, they're all important. But the biggest asset we have is the team and the time they give us. The 40 hours a week that each of those 130 plus team members give us, that's when we have the greatest impact. So they are the biggest asset that we have as owners of this company. So we're up to 130. We most likely will be 150 plus next year at this same time. The number of properties under management, we are currently just north of 7,200 individual single-family homes under management. We don't do a lot of duplexes. There's a couple. We don't do anything larger than duplexes, although I think there's one or two fourplexes, from the past that we manage in Dallas. But that's it. 7,200 single-family homes, primarily all through the Southeast, our main footprint. We were able to eclipse the 3,000 investors' individual accounts. So what that means is sometimes there's a husband and wife, that's 2 accounts. Sometimes there's parents and kids, that's 2 accounts. Sometimes there are multiple IRAs, that's multiple accounts. But we pay out over 3,000 individual accounts every single month. This year, we managed to pay just south of $73 million in net rental payments to those 3,000 accounts. So we've got a portfolio that's more than 7,000 properties. We pay out more than $72 million a year in net rental payments. That means net of everything, all expenses that we keep, whether that's maintenance, CapEx, insurance, or property management. After all that's paid, $72 million out. The value of our clients' assets exceeds $1.3 billion right now. It is astounding to think about. It is unbelievable, the value of the portfolios our clients own. I pointed out this morning to our team that that's due to 3 primary reasons. Number 1, we buy better houses. Simple. We simply play ball in a more expensive price point. Now, just being more expensive doesn't mean better, but being at a higher price point, median price for neighborhoods and cities and above, just simply means there's more demand for the neighborhood. There's more services in the neighborhood. The schools primarily, that's a very general statement, will be slightly better, I guess is a good way to put it. They're just worth more. And because they're worth more, they've gone up in value as well as we've seen over the last 2 years, a tremendous increase in value of the assets that our owners have. We still have a very high number of owners, roughly 10%, who started purchasing with us over a decade ago. So their portfolios have, in some cases, doubled in value. Some have gone up even more than double in value over the past 10 years. So it's just an amazing stat to look at, the value of the portfolios that are under management. As far as kind of some really high-level metrics for the team under property management, as I told you, we added 1,200 properties. We're over 7,200. We were able to rent 1,799 houses. Well, if we added 1,200 new houses this year and we rented 1,799, roughly 1,100 to 1,200 of those homes we rented this year, which means only 500 to 600 houses were houses that went vacant during the year. That's a really big deal. I want to make sure that everybody that's listening, if you're keeping notes, write that down. 7,200 houses under management, 600 houses went vacant and were re-rented. Now that number it's around 600. That's a rough number. That's going to be a little bit higher than that. I think if I go back and look at the stat, I don't have it here in front of me. It's roughly 630, a little more than 630 houses were re-rented this year. That is, I mean, it is unbelievable how low that number is. It's almost unfathomable to think of a management company that has to re-rent less than 10% of their homes in a year. We went back and looked at the total number of vacancies that occurred during the year, and many of those occurred November, December. So we haven't had the chance to re-rent them just yet. Well, we experienced less than 13% vacancy. 13% of the homes that we manage experienced a vacancy. Make sure that sinks in. That means that 87% of the homes that are under management had 1 full year of occupancy. No lost rents to vacancy. None. 87% of the portfolio suffered no vacancy. I can't scream this enough from the mountaintops of what a performance that is, and just how like earth-shattering that is for owners and inside the property management industry. That is unheard of. We experienced less than 13% of our portfolio had a vacancy. That means it would take almost 7 years at that percentage for the whole portfolio to have a vacancy. 7 years. It would take for the whole portfolio to have a vacancy at that number. That is the 5th straight year that we have reduced the percentage of homes that are experiencing a vacancy while we've been growing. So there's more houses. To think that the actual percentage went down, not just it's astounding. If you're taking notes out there, here's 2 huge things to write down. As far as move-outs in Tennessee, the total number of move-outs this year, fewer. Now, we're managing more houses, but we had fewer move-outs this year than in 2020. We had fewer move-outs in 2021 than we had in 2019. Fewer move-outs than we did in 2018, 17, 16, 15, and 2014. And the last year we had this small of a number of move-outs was 2013. And had we been successful at preventing just 8 more move-outs, we would have beaten the 2013 number. It was 8 years ago that you have to go back in our data to see a year where we had this small a number of move-outs in our Tennessee offices. It was incredible. Texas, which we only started in 2012, you have to go back to 2017 to find a year where we had this few move-outs in the Texas office. So the property management is absolutely just destroying all expectations. They are setting new expectations on an annual basis of how great can we be. Again, if you're taking notes, here's a big one. We prevented 3,008 move-outs last year. 3,008. There were 3,008 leases last year that were up for renewal or move out. You know, the possibility of a home going vacant. We were successful at getting 3,008 residents not only to stay where they are, but to sign a new long-term lease, and 98% of those leases got a bump in rent. The average bump in rent that we get is $44. Are you kidding me? This is insane. This is literally insane because no one thought that this was even possible. I go to these conferences out there in property management. Nobody out there is talking this. Nobody is talking about this even being possible. The only way this is possible is if you run a successful company that knows how to make money, that is profitable. We're profitable on the sales obvious side. We're mass volume now at over 7,000 houses. So just that critical mass allows us to be able to be profitable. You cannot forego this many new leases if you're not profitable. This is, for us as a company, just so everybody understands how this aligns the interest with our clients. With 3,008 houses, that's 3,008 first month new leases where we get to keep that first month that we gave up. We said we don't want it. If the average lease is $1,500 today, and it's just below that, but at $1,500, that's $4.5 million to the bottom line, straight to the bottom line, that we said we don't want, we don't need. That's straight revenue, straight to the bottom line profit that we said we don't want, we don't need it. Keep that money in the owner's pockets. That's rent that went directly to the owner. By preventing that move out, we also prevented months where the property actually sits vacant. An additional month. That's an additional $4.5 million that we said keep that money in the pocket of the owner. it was a $9 to $13 million swing by being successful at those 3,000. I harp on that. That's a big one for me. So a couple of other things, just so you guys are with me and kind of understand what we talked about. Our renovations team, fantastic. I was blown away. So the average age of the property we purchased actually improved by over 4 years. The average square foot of the home we're buying went up by 150 square feet. The average price we have to spend per square foot, because the houses are better, slightly bigger, we can get slightly better pricing. It went down roughly 17%. I had to do that math real quickly in my head. It went down over $5 a foot down. The average number of days it takes us to renovate a home, to buy it and get it to the market with a resident in it, went down by almost 15 days. The percent of homes that have a resident move in where in the first 90 days that resident calls in with an issue, that actually improved. It went down. Even though we did more houses, we have a lower number of homes this year that actually call in with an issue. And we were successful at rehabbing 15% more houses this past year than we did the year before. They completed 991 completed renovations during 2021. Every metric, no matter how you look at it, improved. The average number of days it took us to complete our jobs this year improved by over 6%. The renovations team, hats off to them. They did fantastic. You can see these are metrics we keep up with. You have to know, how many days does it take you to complete it? How many days does it take you to start to get it occupied? How many days, or how many dollars per square foot are you spending on the home? What's the average age of the property you're buying? What's the average size of the property you're buying? How many properties call in with an issue within 90 days after you complete your renovation? That's a great metric to know. Is your team on top of their stuff? And our job is to improve that. They did a great job this past year of accomplishing that. I'm not going to talk about sales on a high level because it doesn't matter. I mean, the sales fits into all those numbers. But I wanted to make one quick little shout out for the sales team. We had 300 first-time investors, or 300 investors buy their first property with us during the year of 2021. We had just north of 900 sales. So again, roughly 68% of our sales this year went to an existing client building out their portfolio. Clients do not buy property number 2, number 3, number 7, number 10, number 12, number 20. They just don't do that if they're not hitting their expectations, if they're not getting the deliverable that they expect. So if you are keeping score out there of your own company and you go back and look and see that, your existing clients buy 20% of your portfolio going out each year, you need to work on improving what it is you're offering, work on improving, hitting their expectations. For us, we know that if our existing clients buy more than 60 to 65% of our portfolio every year, then we are hitting the sweet spot. We are creating future clients by, bringing 300 first-time buyers in, but we're also meeting the needs of all the buyers we brought in last year and the year before, because they continue to want to build their portfolio, even in an escalating market, in an escalating price, which is absolutely amazing. Out of the 300 first-time buyers, 147 of them have already bought their second property. 21 of them already bought their fifth property and moved into our WOW group. So just under 10% of that group already is in the WOW group, owns 5 or more houses. Just a fantastic job. So how do we forecast for the future? Because that's, when we meet with our team and we talk about this, this is in the middle of a pandemic. This is in the middle of as I just said, an inflationary period where, home prices are going up, rents are escalating. You're seeing higher move-outs and higher vacancies across the country. You're seeing residents continuing to struggle to pay rent. This year, we had fewer than 25 total eviction put-outs this year, less than 25. So in a year with all these headwinds and all these things that should be making investment in real estate a harder thing to accomplish, because while we see big businesses in New York, the hedge funds, they're buying everything they can as fast as they can. They also have unlimited resources, and they have a borrowing basis it's second to none. I mean, they just shatter the ability of the individual investor from the cost of money standpoint and how quickly they can deploy capital, and the fact that they can get into a bidding war and they'll win every single time if they want the house. So there's a lot of headwinds against us as individual investors. And in that environment, we still manage to have record years. From the management standpoint, from the renovation standpoint, and the sales standpoint. I mean, everything, this was the best year we've had in the history of our company. That was our anticipation in 2021. That's what we anticipated coming in. We set the challenge out for our team. We wanted this year to be the first year we do over 1,000 transactions in the sales side. We ended the year with 985. I mean, we were all over it. We went back and looked with our sales team on January 1st. We only had 12 properties available in the history of our company. On that day, there had only been 12 houses that we had not sold to an investor to that point. So this will be the year we will exceed 1,000. Let me tell you how we set that up for our team. So we brought everyone together and we pointed out to them that going into this year, we were setting very realistic, obtainable, and practical goals. I hate the word realistic. Anybody that knows me says I hate it. I do this little thing where I go and I click the lights on and off on the wall and say it's unrealistic to hit a button over here and have lights come on up there. I think it's probably more appropriate even today. It's unrealistic to hit a button on your phone and have a pizza delivered in 10 minutes or 20 minutes, whatever. But it happens, right? I mean, that's where reality now is going. So I don't use the word realistic anymore. Anything can happen. Instead, we make goals that are obtainable and practical, things that will stretch our team and make us improve, make us become a new best version of ourselves, but yet not at a level where should there be too many headwinds, should there be too many hills to climb, too many hurdles to get over that we miss and we fail. We don't want failure. We want absolute stretch, get the most out of we can get. So this year, we anticipate having 1,100 closings in our sales department. That is roughly 91 a month. In the month of January, we closed 92 sales. So we are on pace so far. In the month of, not January, in the month of February, December, we closed 92 sales. So we know going into this year, it's possible. We can certainly do it. We want to reduce the total number of days it takes us to rent a property. So I want you to understand something. Again, this is one of those little stats I didn't give you a second ago that I wanted you to hear. When we have a move out of one of our homes, when we do have a move out, last year I told you 13% of our homes experienced a move out. The average number of days from the time an owner says, do the work to my house, which the average number of days it takes us to get permission from an owner to start a renovation on a home that we manage is just under 5 days. The day they say go, it takes us 32 days to have a resident occupied in that home. That is, again, I don't know what the industry standard is. I just know that when I go and talk to people, they're anticipating 60 to 90 days. We get it done in 32. Our goal for 2021 is to get that under 30. We've set a stretch goal to get it under 20. We tell our team that if a property's been vacant for 10 days, there's an issue, and we should have enough data to know what that issue is. We should know, is it a marketing issue where it's not being seen by enough people? Is it a pricing issue where we've got it too expensive? Is it a renovations issue? Did we possibly not do a good enough renovation? Do people not like something about the home? We need to know quickly. And after 10 days, we have that answer. After 10 days, we're taking action. And inside of 20, we want that property to have a qualified resident ready to go with a deposit in-house. Our goal is to never have houses available longer than 20 days. And that's even too long for us. But that's the goal we set for this year. We've asked our renewals team with 7,000 properties under management. And yes, we renewed 3,000 homes in 2021. We added 1,200 houses in 2021. So this is going to be a really hard goal to get done. But since we only do 2-year leases, it's certainly possible that between now and December, there will be 4,000 plus opportunities for them to renew a lease. There will be a minimum of 4,000 homes who should be approaching that second year, the 18-month mark. It'll be close. But our goal for our renewals team is 4,000 8,000 renewals. It'll be close. They're going to have to work like they've never worked before, but we're going for it. We want to have 8,000 houses under management by the end of this year. We're going to hit that. Our anticipation is that we reach the 10,000 property under management mark sometime early 2024. So we'll go through the next 24 to 28 months, and we'll hit that goal. We'll have 10,000 houses under management. Now, for our team, we told them straight up, the bar, it's going up. We have higher expectations. We have high accountability. We meet with our teams we do meet with them daily. We meet with the leaders of every one of our teams daily, sometimes 3 to 4 times a week. We will pull them out of our executive meeting and meet with them one-on-one. Our key theme for this year was you, meaning that we looked at our team across the boards. We had, our all hands meeting today, and we said, our goal is to feed into our team, make them the best versions of themselves, help them to reach their absolute top potential. We pointed out to them that if you make yourself essential around this, we will find ways to reward you, whether it's new opportunities, higher incomes. We raised the minimum income. Nobody at our company makes less than $20 an hour. And that's not even good enough. We want that to be even higher. I know that anybody on our team listening to this right now, they're going to love to hear that because they know it matches what we told them. We want our team to be well compensated. We want to share the rewards of the success we've had with everybody. We want to push them out of their comfort zone and push the company to new heights. We show up every day. I'll never forget in Dallas when I was speaking last May, I had a guy stand up and ask me, he said, when you hire somebody new, how do you get them on board with your level of expectation? How do you get them on board with your energy? How do you get them to buy into your culture? And it was real simple. I've said this before on this podcast, I think. It's 2 things. You show up every day and you do what you say. We still show up every day. Kent Sr. got up there to end the meeting today, and he was like, I'm fired up and ready to go. I may be 71, but I ain't done yet. I'm ready. I've got more stuff to accomplish. I've got more places to go. I've got more things to do. I'm ready to rock and roll. It's kind of funny. When he got done, he was like, "Woo, I'm tired." It takes a little more to get up the way he used to, but here's the deal. He shows up every day. He's an example for everybody around our company, and he's owner. He's the owner. He doesn't have to do this. This is not about money at all. This is all about, in some ways, it's all about pride. You want to be the best version every single day. You want to inspire everyone around you to be the best version every day. That's what today's All Hands was about. That's what this podcast is all about today. I want to share with you guys, how do you be the best version of yourself? You have high expectations. You show up to work every day. You lead by example. And if you say you're going to do something, you do it. And then when you expect others to do the same, they've got a bar to live up to. They've got an example to go for. I'm super excited for 2022. I think you can probably tell. I'm still on a high from this morning. I love getting up in front of any crowd. The joke about me is I love to talk, and I do. I love to talk. It gets me excited to be able to share the story of my family's company. I'm excited to share the story of our team. We have just an unbelievable group of people that have surrounded us, and we don't want to waste any time. We don't want to waste their potential by not expecting more. This podcast wouldn't exist today had we not gone out and expanded our team this past year and brought in an incredible group of people to run and kind of start and launch our marketing department. This wouldn't exist without them. They came in, they answered the call. And I want to make sure I end this with a massive thank you to everyone who helped us reach our goals in 2021, everyone who is excited about our goals for 2022. If you stayed with me through the last 29 minutes, this is the longest podcast we've done to date. It has been incredible. I'm excited. I probably could have gone on for another half hour, but I'm going to tell you, thank you so much for joining me at this point. I hope you have a fantastic day, a fantastic week, a fantastic month, a fantastic quarter. I hope your 2022 absolutely kicks ass. I want you to set your expectations high. Make this a year where you get the full potential and you become the best version of yourself that you can in 2022, however you define it and whatever that means. Until we get a chance to meet again, guys, commit to the grind. Thank you so much for joining me. I look forward to a fantastic 2022 with you. We'll talk to you soon.